Bonjour, les amis. Welcome to the very first episode of GenerateHER. I'm Jane Bertch, speaking to you from Paris, France, the city of light, where I've had the incredible privilege of living and working for nearly 20 years now. This podcast has been a dream of mine for quite some time. I wanted to create a space for women to connect and learn and grow together, a space where we can talk openly about our journeys in business, about our personal development, and most importantly, our personal transformation. I wanted to create this podcast because I know the power of community. I have to imagine there's some incredible women out there who have the same challenges I do. Welcome to GenerateHER. I'm Jane Bertch. I spent the first half of my life working in a corporate organization, and then I decided to trade that all in to become an entrepreneur. Yes, here in your favorite city of Paris, France. And today, I hope I'm a guide on your journey to personal reinvention and transformation. Let me first say in how much I believe in the power of a community. It's thanks to my community that this dream is finally coming to life, and I'm sitting here in front of you today. Let me mention my amazing friend, Nisha Pai, who's not only has a wonderful podcast, and she not only encouraged me to do this because I've been talking about it forever, but she took that one crucial step more, which is she gave me meaningful help. It's thanks to her she shared a fabulous resource that I was able to meet Sarah at the Hive podcast team. And Sarah has held my hand probably much longer than she ever thought she would, every step of the way to finally bring this to life. So I'm so thrilled to sit in front of you today. And why did I create GenerateHER? Because I know firsthand life's twists and turns can spark incredible change, but only if we're open to embracing those moments of reinvention. My own story is proof of this. I went from working in corporate for the first 10 years of my life, scratching my nails out to get to a certain place, and then realized I didn't belong there. And that's quite a scary feeling when you spend your whole career wanting to achieve a certain level, and then you get there and you think, this is not what I meant to do with my life. This is not my purpose. I'll also say that coincided with some deep family trauma. But even in the midst of darkness, wonderful things can happen. So I went from being a corporate employee to an entrepreneur, navigating all the ups and downs along the way. As you can imagine, the learning curve of starting a business in an industry where I had no experience and in a country where I was still learning how to navigate all of the very interesting cultural codes. And to add to that, in a language that I was rusty at best with. So I've certainly had my fair share of ups and downs. I still have so many things to master in this beautiful challenge of life that we get to live, and I'd love to do that with you. But let me tell you one thing this journey has absolutely taught me. It's taught me lessons I never expected, and I'd love to share them with you here. Over the years, I've worked along so many inspiring women, and my list is long. And I am filled with gratitude for all of these amazing women that have come into my life. Most importantly, women with incredible potential. They sometimes just need that little push or a little spark to reignite themselves and realize how much power they already have within them. I find myself in that situation more often than not. So what is this podcast all about then? I want us to explore topics that matter to us. And yes, particularly as women. How to use our differences to our strengths when we find ourselves in a room or in a community where we feel different. How to find courage in creativity. I do believe that that is almost a golden braid to have the sense of creativity, to feel creative, and to have courage to pursue that. I believe if you don't feel creative, you lose your courage. If you don't feel creative, you can't reimagine yourself. You can't reimagine your business. You can't get the energy to invite stimulation into your life. So I want us to talk about that. And most importantly, because I've been in this situation on so many occasions, I want us to dig deep and figure out how we believe in ourselves, even when we don't. How do we push forward when the odds feel stacked up against us? But this isn't just another podcast about business or personal growth. I know there's so many of them. Many of them I listen to and I love. They're incredible resources. I want this also to be about perspective. Living and working in Europe for more than 2 decades, almost 20 years of those in Paris, has taught me so much about cultural nuance, about adaptability, and the art of enjoying life. From the elegance of French work-life balance to the importance of slowing down and savoring those little things, whether it be a cup of coffee with a friend or a walk in the park or a quiet moment to read a book. All of these lessons have shaped the way I approach everything, and I want to share them with you. So why GenerateHER? Because I believe that we're all capable of generating something extraordinary, whether it's in a career, whether it's a new vision of ourselves, or simply the courage to take the next step. So this podcast is here to remind you, most importantly, that reinvention is always possible at any stage in your life. You're constantly growing. You are by default a completely new person than you were yesterday. So what can you expect? Each week, we'll have a real honest discussion, a real honest conversation. I'll share with you my experiences. I plan on having some wonderful, fascinating guests for you to listen to. And I want us to talk about tools we actually use that help us recharge and revamp our lives. And of course, because we're in Paris, how can I not talk about a bit of the French flair? Whether it's a cultural tip or a perspective shift or a little joie de vivre, I want to bring some of the magic that I've learned in this very complex and beautiful culture. So as we embark on this journey together, I want to say thank you. Nothing I've done of importance has been done in isolation. Every wonderful thing that I have been able to achieve has been because of a community. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for showing up, because if you show up, I certainly will. And I want to thank you for being ready to embrace all the possibilities that lie ahead, because there are so many for all of us. So let's dive in, shall we? As we say in French, allons-y. Let's go. Let me just close by saying, and if you know somebody who might benefit from this podcast, please share it with them. Let's create a community around our shared love for all of these enormously big, juicy topics. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. You can find it on my website, janebertch.com. And if you love journaling, which I know I love, I'm working on journal prompts for you, and I have a 30-day challenge. Questions for you to sit and think with every morning to really set your mind right to move forward. So if you're on Instagram, you can find me at Jane Bertch. Pop in and say hello. Connect with me through the website and send me an email. I'd love to know what you want to hear about and what we need to discuss together. But most importantly, stay connected. and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep shining and keep generating the very best of you. A bientôt, mes amis.